Hey y'all.
Hi. It's a late Sunday shift.
It
It
is.
is. It is indeed. But I'm so glad to be here with y'all as always. It has shifted the Sunday.
Yes. hmm
Sunday has shifted.
It's, it's shifting. It's shifted. It will shift.
And yet again, I have to start the episode with thank you, Beyonce, for giving me everything I needed to get me here this week.
Don't know how I would have done it otherwise, to be honest.
I listened to half of it, the album.
Okay. Okay. I don't know how you've done it because I just listened to it on repeat. I haven't even gotten any other music.
I
think
have.
to running up that hill like once or twice, and
That's
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 my
my only
rotation.
exception. My only exception, and I'm waiting for the Beyonce Kate Bush collab of my dreams, and then I won't ever listen to anything else.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Please, I need it. Why would you even say it to me if I couldn't have it?
Speaking it into existence. I'm speaking it.
There you are. Other than that, how are y'all doing?
I am looking forward to the coming week because I have some time off.
Yay!
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not working. And so
Vacation.
looking forward to that. Not checking email, just not answering the phone because people are going to still call me because yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna be like
I
yeah.
love it for you.
I really love not working and not going anywhere.
The
So
combo of my dreams.
love it.
It's like if I could not work and not go anywhere and listen to a Kate Bush Beyonce collab.
What else do you need?
Well,
Week.
my week was okay, actually. It was fine. It was, it weeked.
Week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think. Because I can't think of a highlight, that means that there wasn't a low light. Is that how that works?
Yeah, it was just a light.
Mhm.
Not like a floodlight, maybe some mood lighting, some like nice
Ooh.
soft lighting. I think that it was a better week than other weeks.
Mhm.
Are we talking about GH or are we just talking about life?
Both.
Oh my God.
Alignment. I love it when it works out that way. But you know what I really hate? When it's a bad week in life and a bad week on GH. That's too much.
Yeah, I do want to say thank you to everybody who left me such kind words. I had just like tweeted about like a loss in the family, and I would say like I had more like condolences and sweet messages from GH Twitter than anybody else. And I was like, oh my God, this is like overwhelmingly sweet.
Oh.
That was nice.
I did not see it, but my condolences.
Thank you. So y'all ready to get into this week on GH?
Let's do it.
All right, let's see what I got for a recap. Saving the best for first. Our niece Trina has been exonerated, charges dropped. The world knows she's innocent. We went from free Trina to freed Trina. Portia came through and saved her baby girl by waking up Oz Haggerty. He gets a real name because he exonerated Trina, despite Rory snitching. And he testified that he sold the phone used for revenge porn to Esme. After court, Spencer moved to tell Trina that he believed her the whole time. But what has now become true Sprina fashion, they were interrupted twice. After the second time, Trina removes herself from the conversation and talks with Rory. They make it official. They seal it with a soda and a kiss. with Spencer as a witness.
Mm.
Spencer admits to Cam and Josh that he loves Trina. Josh's reaction was amazing, by the way.
Love her.
But he won't tell her for her own good. Ugh, we have our self-sacrificial Spencer. It's enough suffering for me. Anyway, Josh says that she can't promise she won't tell because she is tired of the damn secrets. With Esme officially named by Oz, Jordan and the PCPD decided to do their job and head to Windermere to look for Esme. Nicholas lied to Victor and told him he killed Esme, but Victor obviously knew better because Nicholas is stupid and got Nicholas to admit that it was Ava. Victor has a contact post a fake status update from Esme from France about Trina's child, and it removes police suspicion for now. Victor, Ava, and Nicholas burn Esme's suitcase with the letters from the nanny sitting right on top, and nobody read them. Whew, I was mad all over. Okay. Sona tries to move their relationship to the next level, whatever that level may be, but they find it to be difficult. In a scene that made me cackle, Nina couldn't even get a seat for her and Sonny in the half-empty restaurant she owns.
It was like, we're full.
We're full.
With 3 empty tables right in front of her.
Oh my God. Please someone give this couple some grown-up obstacles. Nina has words with Carly, boring, and sees TJ and Willow hugging at her surprise graduation party. Not so boring. Willow finds out from Terry and Britt that she has leukemia. She has not told Michael yet, and she is worried about how it will impact her pregnancy, twilight pregnancy. Her leaning on TJ has launched a new ship across the internet called TJ. Shout out Support Misery for that name.
What's that TJ?
TJ, yes. Olivia wonders to Carly if there's more than friendship between her and Drew. Carly flashes back to those DNA test results confirming Nina as Willow's mom and the fact that she lied to Drew about it and declares that they can only be friends. Oh, Caroline. For some odd reason, the news that Cody is Dominique's son makes Britt want to give him another chance. I don't know. But it does make Dante throw a little side eye his way, finally. Speaking of Dante, he tells his ma, Olivia, that he is in love with Sam. And we get some point of view from him about moving on from Lulu. Stay asleep, girl. Olivia rounds out her week in the Chalynn story with Chase's fashion show at lunch, into becoming the new Eddie Main with the approval of Ned, Olivia, BLQ, and most of all, Leo.
Most important one.
Most importantly, Leo. Sonny calls Dex into his office about a betrayal, and we find out that he has a dishonorable discharge from the army. Sonny, with his big stand for the Anthem energy, wonders how he could trust Dex with this in his past. Dex spills his man pain, and we found out he was protecting an abused family from a superior, like his family had been abused. And I'm just going to be honest with you, the only man pain I have room for is Spencer's. Sorry, Dex.
Not sorry.
Other things from the week: a Davis Girl reunion. I was like really happy to see them, and I wish we got to see more of them. I love that family, and I love, even as a collective, even no matter how I feel about Molly individually, but as a collective, really love them. Was confused as to why they were celebrating Christina being named manager, because I thought that they had already named her manager before. Anyway, Maxie, Austin, and Spinelli triangle continues to brew, and Anna the spy versus Lucy the fierce protector of her man, which I know we will talk about more. And that's our week, y'all. How did you feel about it? What was your favorite moment?
It was a pretty good week. There were things every day that kept my interest. Friday was rough.
Yeah.
But between Trina's trial and the great Anna Devane. You know, we really made it through with some good moments. I'm gonna have to say my favorite moment, just to pick one. It's gonna have to be Trina is freed.
Yes.
It has to be, especially the moment when they dropped the charges and everyone was like, ah, that was me. I was like, I'm so like, when Trina was like, is this really happening? I was like, is this really happening? Is this finally over?
I definitely was like, am I supposed to be crying? Is anybody else crying? Is it just me? I'm sobbing.
I was very emotional, and I still am. I won't believe that it's. I need like more storyline so it can really feel like it's over. But what a relief! I really feel like I slept better after. like a load that I hadn't even realized I had been carrying was lifted. And it's just always nice when you have like all those folks together and like rallied around everyone's favorite common cause, which is Trina. And even having like Diane in the mix, like I loved that the storyline, well, first of all, is over, but I loved the conclusion of it, and how joyous it was, you know, of course, until we got to Spencer suffering and Sprina interrupted, but that's, you know, for late to talk about later.
Yeah. I loved that it was Portia that saved her
Yes.
at the end. I loved it. Because I had really wanted for the storyline for the moms to get together. I had wanted it for it to be like Portia, Carly, and Liz. But you know, what do you really need besides Portia? She's amazing, flawless, all the things. My favorite moment, aside from obviously the Trina exoneration, obviously, I like posted the pictures like Trina with her head. It was just perfect. But Spencer and Cam, I can't believe they've done it to me this much. My heartstrings, they've pulled them.
Yeah.
I love them. I love the history between them, like knowing the history between them and seeing who they are now, seeing the like family kin between William and Nicholas and how that like translates to Kim and Spencer. To me, you are perfect.
Yeah, they were very sweet.
Yeah. What about you, Tanya?
Yeah, the trial ending was great. It was awesome. And you know, Spencer almost confessing was great. I would say if I had to choose outside of the trial, and I actually want to say Nina not getting a space is now one of my favorite scenes just because of Olivia, but the actual one that I remembered before you gave the recap was the scene between Lucy and Anna. Um, that was really great. I mean, just seeing them two play off each other. I don't remember them. I saw someone had posted a photo of them like 35, 36 years ago, and I don't remember them together. But I can sense the history, the skill set of those two actresses, and just how they played off each other was great. I mean, Anna, even though she's on the good side, she's a bit of a bully. Oh, I'd be scared of her too. I mean, like, you know, she was super aggressive with Lucy. And so, but Lucy was just like, you know, so it was interesting how they played off each other. I really enjoyed those scenes a lot. If I were to dwell into my performances of the week, before I do that, I do want to give a shout out to, well, no, let me just do it. Nicholas Chavez because he just had me in tears. How sad. I mean, he looked hurt. Well, first, during the trial, he was jubilant. He was so happy that Trina got off. Then he's trying, and then he goes through the motions of trying to tell Trina, and he was nervous. He was fumbling his words, and I was like, oh my God. He's really playing that. And then, of course, catching Trina kissing the home dude. It was like, damn. And, and then being adamant that Joss doesn't tell because he's really trying to put Trina first this time. It was amazing. And then he looked great in his suit, and then he goes back to Cassadine house and tells everyone that he's going to Pentonville, and he just looked like he was one of them in his suit and everything, but still like, I'm going to prison because I'm protecting, it was great all around. This week was a great week for him.
Tanya, like, I have always been pro, like, Spencer needs to suffer for the things he's done to Trina, starting calling her Tina that time at the pool. I'm still mad about it.
I won't ever forget. Yeah.
But
it would have been, if that were me, it would have been over for him right there. I would have been like, this bitch, this is Victor.
But I turned to Sandra. I was like, I'm done with Spencer suffering.
I know. Everyone's like, because I saw the memes on social media. People were like, okay, at first it was on site with Spencer, but now we're like, no, wait. No.
I said to Sandra, I'm done with Spencer suffering. Sandra was like, I know you are.
I know you are. I am not, but
I'm done. I don't want to see. I do not want to see him in Pentonville. I don't.
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see him pining over, Trina while she's having her dalliance with Rory. I don't want to see it.
I do.
I don't want to see any of that. I think, I think I would love to see, even though she's, made some sort of commitment with Rory, I would love it to be super obvious that she would rather be with Spencer. I would enjoy that.
Yes, I'm sure that's going to happen.
I hope so. I hope that she doesn't really try to catch feelings with home dude, because that would.
If they make my niece catch feelings for that dude who gave her a wrapped up soda, I swear to God. I was like, is this a soda? Did you give her a gift to commemorate the most traumatic day of her life?
Yes.
I know he was trying to be sentimental, but no, dude, you're an adult. You're not in high school. I mean, if he was in high school, I would be like, okay, because he ain't got no job. He's living off of his allowance. He can't get her. But you got a job, dude. I don't care if you stand in a 1-bedroom studio. You still have a job. You still have more than 99 cents to get her a soda. You have more than 99 cents.
I agree.
Well, inflation.
I don't care. Okay, $1.29.
Might not have. I don't know what Rory's finances are. He might not have that 30 cents. I don't know.
His life.
No, fuck that cop. Fuck that cop. Fuck that soda pop cop.
I have a new hashtag fucking Rory, because I just don't like it. I can't.
Ugh. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. So obviously Nicholas Chavez. Yes, though.
Before we go on, I need everyone to know I'm done.
I'm done with him suffering.
And I needed everyone to know that I'm not, but I'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
I also just needed to say, like, shout out to Nicholas Chavez, because that person left us a message about fighting us for not liking Nicholas Chavez enough. And I was like, us?
What?
It's okay.
Us? Who gives him Performer of the Week every week?
Who left us a message saying we don't like him enough?
I'll send it to you.
Okay, because they obviously don't watch the show. They don't watch the show. Because yeah, I was gonna give runner-up to Lynn Herring and
Finola.
Finola.
We got you.
Definitely. But I also want to, yes, notice my GH boyfriend. Dominic Dante, because I felt him when he was, I mean, obviously I didn't agree that he should feel guilty about leaving Lulu, being a second late, but I felt the emotion. I love the chemistry he has with his mom. It's great. He's very vulnerable. I mean, he's a grown ass man and supposedly in his 40s talking about, I don't know what to do. I feel like I messed up. Mom, I don't know what to do. I messed up with Sam about asking her to move in with me. He was like very vulnerable. And I wanted to just hug him. Be like, you know what? There's no mistakes with me. No, I'm sorry. I just like wanted to run my fingers through his hair and be like, it's okay. But no. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
That's just that is basically a crush a crush kudos because but yeah, he acted very well.
Like transparently, I may have given it to him because he's so hot. And he's a good actor too.
Yes.
True at the same time.
Those two things can be true.
Yes.
Great job. You did great. Yes. I really liked his performances. If not the content, because fuck Lulu forever. Yuck.
I love it when people spell it LOO. I'm like, the disrespect. Like,
oh goodness.
The disrespect of them naming her Lulu.
That is, yeah.
What were we supposed to do with that? Yeah, we're supposed to be talking about performances. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I think
Lulu slander.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, what were you guys' performances outside of
or what's working for you, Sandra?
or do you guys want to give, more? Yeah. I feel like this needs to be a free-for-all because I just don't, no notes, but all sorts of commentary.
All vibes.
All vibes.
Let's blame it on the astrology. Or thank the astrology. Anyway, I loved if Trina's trial hadn't concluded this week, I definitely would have picked Lucy and Anna as my favorite moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wildly entertained the whole time. I loved the chem between Lucy and Victor.
Oh my god.
Good.
Yes.
I loved Valentine and Anna's reaction to it. I'm like, let's keep it moving. But Anna being like, I could use this. And I loved I knew also, like, as Lucy was like, she was like flirting with Victor, throwing a little bit of shade at Anna as she was getting ready to go. And I was just waiting for the ta. I was like, Lucy. I just love having her around so much. I loved her thinking that she kind of like had Anna under her thumb. And Anna kind of like, at first you think, oh, she's kind of buttering up Lucy. And then, she's like, we've been through so much. We've seen each other through some hard times. Well, you know what? I don't give a fuck about that right now because I need information on Bay.
Like, don't cross me because...
Don't get between what me and the information I need on Bay. And like Lucy tried to call her out and be like, what is this? Some kind of foreplay, this spy shit? And Anna's just like, and what about it?
Maybe.
It's, who are you to judge, Lucy? Okay, we know about you and Martin. Okay, we know about y'all in the Santa costume. So don't throw stones in glass houses. But yes, I loved those scenes so much. They were so good. They were one of the things that really, really worked for me this week. Sprina worked for me, including Spencer suffering. I loved it. I loved his suffering. I liked both. They offered us like two different takes, right? Of Trina asking, so why? Like what changed, and him saying everything, right? Like the first take they offered at the end of Tuesday was like more vulnerable, almost like a hopeful Trina. But then when the Wednesday take, she was like colder and more distant. And I liked getting both takes, like both versions, because I think they both make sense. And like the first one was kind of like giving me like old school Sprina vibes, you know, of like, so what changed? And then the second one was I was like, you know what, that is actually the correct energy for him. That is like both based on what she knows, and also like, even if she knew everything, I still think it would be the correct energy. I love how much Portia hates Spencer. That also really she just was like, so we should go. Well, I'll invite some family and friends.
Cam and Josh all trying to come?
Yeah, these white kids, not this one. These white kids are allowed. This one, And when Trina said, when she was walking away from Spencer, you know, we had the interruptions, and I both was like, oh, and I was like, I actually don't want them to have this moment at the courthouse. So that was part of what worked for me. I was like, I actually wasn't expecting the declaration to happen there, nor did I want it to. And when she said, like, I just wish you had figured out Esme sooner for my sake and yours. Again, true. No matter what she knows, because it really fucked both of them up so bad, how he did and did not handle Esme. And so I one thing I appreciate about this arc, and that Nicolas Chavez plays so well, is that this arc really humbled Spencer in a way that's so necessary for the growth of his character. Like, it was really important that he not be the one to save Trina.
Yeah.
And recognizing that that's what he wanted.
Yes. And acknowledging, like, I don't know, I did have these motives that that Cam was kind of accusing him of the whole time. And, it still was all at Trina's expense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that nothing that he did made anything better for her.
No, it just made her miserable.
Yeah.
And he's so good that, like, I felt like, oh, the pain. Oh, I feel it. And like when he said, because I love her, I was like, oh,
and then Josh was like, you love her.
And I love that too. I love Josh's reaction so much. I was like, yes. Like,
he's like, I love you.
Well, and it was like, okay. Like, that was the vibe I got. She was like, okay.
I was like, so do I. What's your point?
You don't see me running around lying to her like this. And like, guess what, bro? I can barely keep my mouth shut. Here's the thing, is that Spencer was like, I'm not telling because Joss can't keep her mouth shut. Well, now she might not keep her mouth shut too. What are you gonna do? Figure it out. And so it's like the decision to not tell Trina is both frustrating and it's a sign of his growth. Right? It's not like with Chalynn, where I'm like, why are you all not telling each other? There are real reasons why he's not telling her, even though it's kind of stupid. It's kind of so stupid. It's kind of par for the course when people like won't tell each other things. But he did almost ruin Trina's life. And she's actually not out of the clear yet either, because she still has to be cleared to go back to school. So, and he is, like he pointed out, he's about to go to prison for 3 months. Like, he doesn't really have any business like going and busting up her relationship. And I want him to, and I don't want him to yet. And I still want him to suffer a little bit more. I don't want him to suffer in prison, but I want him to have to continue to grapple with what he's done and not get the immediate reward. And I do like, and I've been joking, like, I love his suffering. I do. But I just also love the angst and watching Nicolas Chavez play it. Because it's like it is an important part of the story. Like, yes, I want Sprina to happen. No, I don't want Rorina anymore. And it still needs a little bit more play out for me. So I feel like actually I need more Sprina scenes for sure, but this feels like the closest they've been to being on track and like where I can feel like engaged with my whole heart. And part of that is because of Spencer's suffering. Yeah. The other thing that's working for me is TJ.
Take mine. You're going through all mine.
No, I'm sorry. That's all I'll say. TJ's working, and I'll hand it off.
Like my list literally was Anna, Lucy, Spencer, Sprina, and then TJ. No, please say what you want to say. I want to hear what you want to say. I want to hear it.
Oh, I mean, I just appreciate how he's just like so front and center right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a TJ shipper. I could never be.
I'm so mad at this. I'm now gonna think of her as Tree forever.
I love it. Never be. Tara. Thank you, Tara. But I like him having this potential like storyline on the horizon with a different love interest. You know, I'm ready for the end of Tali. I've been ready since for years.
Beginning.
To be over. And I like him getting to be in this professional role. I like him being in Trina's family, because let's face it, any family that Trina is like centered around her and is Trina's family. I do wish that it was, you know, TJ and Portia. That's my TJ ship, because it would be very messy.
Portia.
Ooh.
And you know, I love like a little MILF storyline. And I think that Brooke deserves it. And I think that Tosh deserves it. And yeah, I'll leave it there. That's like the high level.
That's hilarious. I no longer call it Rorina. I call it Tritch. Trina and that snitch. Ooh. I have not gotten over it.
Tritch.
Still mad. Why did you snitch? Like, I don't understand. So that's
a cop.
Huh?
Cop's got a cop.
Well. Anyway, defund the PCPD. I would say the others, I mean, so TJ worked for me. I like, he is just seamless. You know, like, there's nobody he has a bad scene with. He brings the literal best out of everybody he's paired with. Mm-hmm. I remember the first time, I mean, now I love Hat Daddy. Now that they're like done with all of that, like, will they, won't they, talking in circles, you know, what it do, baby? Like, I love Hat Daddy. But when I got the glimpse of, oh, I could like this character, it was when he was with TJ. Mm-hmm. He was like at the bar and TJ was like emotional and bringing that out of him. I really appreciated it. I mean, like, he brings a brand new side out of Willow. My Lord. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm also not a TJ shipper. You know, just very transparently, I would love for them to bring in, you know, a person of color for TJ.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We need a 30s Black woman to come in, and you know, maybe. So they did this thing on Young and the Restless where they made this day player who had no lines but always looked fabulous, and everybody wanted to know who she was and have her a backstory. I want that for bartender lady, even though she said stuff, but she needs to be in the mix. Mm-hmm. And you know, TJ can go to the bar, talk shit. Yeah, Anika. TJ can go to the bar, talk shit about Molly, and then have one night stand and have it become a love match.
I would love it. There's also that one extra that was like at Charlie's, and like me and Sandra was like, why is this extra looking so cute? It was like,
she was during a Nina and Sunny scene.
yeah.
And I looked at her the whole time. I didn't pay attention to the scene. I was just like, she's cute.
Yeah.
Like, what's up? What's she doing later?
I don't want to rewatch Sunny and Nina scenes, but I'm gonna because I want to see the cute lady.
Very cute.
I mean,
A little orange on.
Okay.
We're seeing, like, I was like, wardrobe really likes orange, but they've been picking some good oranges, I will say.
yeah. So yeah, but just having him, I mean, Taj like being on contract is such a, I mean, his like social media presence like cracks me up and also is very sweet, like and he just seems to be really good with everyone he's with, so that really really works for me. The idea of Emma coming back works for me. Yeah, like when so everybody, like, it's clear that they're trying to move Joss towards Dex. And so we were like, what's gonna happen with Cam? Now, of course, everyone knows I wanted Cam to have a little they friend, but that's okay. It's fine.
You don't sound fine. You're like, it's fine.
It's fine. But like having Emma come back, so like in the scene they were like talking about how Emma is like a freshman now, because I had been wondering what they were gonna do with that character. I would love for like Anna to have family in town, because like right now she doesn't. And so like I loved, like, part of what I liked about Fana was that, like, they had Violet. So I would love for her to have family in town. And so Brooklyn Sizer, who was like the little Emma, is like 16 now. So I was wondering if they were like waiting to like have Jake or something with her. But the character who plays Jake is like 14 or 15. Or the kid who plays Jake is like 14 or 15. So anyway, looks like from the conversation they've aged her up and she's the same age as like Cam and Joss, Spencer, Trina, that age. So I would like love for her to come back and be for Cam. I would love for her to be like a little bad girl, because that energy was good for Cam. Like that's why I thought he had really good chemistry with Avery.
I think that's interesting. And you know what I think is interesting is because when we were talking about Spencer suffering, I was thinking about, I mean, Emma was his first love, right? And it was like a rivalry between Cam and Spencer when they were little. And I always felt sorry for Spencer because Emma was not interested. And I was like, oh, he's suffering because he can't have the woman he loves. It was a little kid, but still.
That was a dramatic ass kid group.
Yeah, I know. And now he's suffering again. Like, I was just like, no, I don't want to see him suffer. But yeah, he deserves it. It will be a little interesting to have Emma back in the mix with Spencer and Cam, especially now that they're all so close, Spencer and Cam. That would be interesting. But he needs to be for Trina.
Yeah, I don't want any Spencer
triangle
Emma situation.
No, he doesn't.
First of all, I don't want that for the actress who would have to step into that, Lord. But I just don't like. They've had their drama. Their drama was Esme. Their current drama is Rory.
Right.
Let's move on.
He doesn't get any further distractions. He needs
like Emma could be his friend to talk him through how to get back with Trina, because apparently Joss is not going to do that for him.
Joss is not a shipper.
No.
Like,
I mean, I thought she was very generous with him, considering her stance. I was like, this is close as you're gonna get to support Spencer. So
it is, but she is not a shipper.
She's not.
Eden is
a shipper, and I do want to talk about what we learned in the Trust Zoom. So Eden, and I tweeted this, and Eden liked it. I was like, Joss is a Rorina shipper. Eden is a Sprina shipper. Eden was like, absolutely. Like, but anyway, yeah, I like that idea. I like the idea of extending out that group. I would also love if they had like, I don't know, like a ward cousin or somebody like come. Let's like diversify that group. Let's get a Woo, like
Oh, I still want the Woo cousin.
Yeah, like somebody like that. Let's like, because the teen scene or the young adult scene prior was like Maxie, Lulu, Georgie, Dylan,
Yeah.
the original Brooklyn, or not original, but like the teenage Brooklyn. Like there was a bunch of folks, and so they've had like the core four plus Esme. It's fine to like extend that out, and I would love to see an additional ward come through, like a Black kid come through. I would love to see a Wu cousin come through, and then addition of Emma for Cameron, to be very clear, or not for Cameron, you know,
for Jess.
or if
Yeah, I mean, Cameron can have a Wu cousin too. Wu cousin does not have to be a guy.
I was gonna say,
Or
it could
be a guy.
Maybe.
We could be a guy for Cameron.
It's too many straight Gen Zers. I don't know. It's just
it's the math is not mathing. The math is not mathing here. With Gen Z?
No.
No.
Anyway, that's me rambling. Tanya, what's working for you?
I think we all talked about everything that's working with me. You know me, I'm happy to talk about what's not working.
Let's do it.
Obviously, Cody never works. But for me,
I was waiting for you.
never works. What really did not work for me this week though was kind of giving a pass, or even not even giving pass, just kind of giving kudos to a couple of white wannabe social justice warriors. Let's talk about how Robert was given kudos by Diane at the end, like, you know, you did a good thing. I'm like, no, he didn't. He did the only thing he could do because new evidence came, and he had none against Trina. And the fact that he gave charges to Trina off of circumstantial evidence in the first place, no, he gets no kudos, none, whatsoever. No. And then Molly with her, oh my God, I think I want to quit the DA and become a defense attorney. Ma'am, no. You get no kudos either, because you should have recognized that case was flawed from the get-go. But no, you had to come in with your self-righteous mess talking about, oh, we're going to prove her guilty because she is. No. I don't like you now, Molly. And because you're just too much like Nancy Lee Grant. Oh, I'm sorry. Your mom, Alexis. And so that is a no-go. And, you know, Nancy Lee Grant on site for me. And so now on site for you, because there's no backtracking talking about, I think I would do better as a defense attorney. You should have recognized that from the get. So I don't appreciate GH trying to give them a pass or make them feel good about doing the right thing when they could have done the right thing from the beginning.
And I was just like, what's the analysis here, Molly? Because you were just saying not 2 seconds before this that we should let the system work the way that it's meant to work. Well, this is how it's meant to work.
Yeah. The system is supposed to prosecute, jail, use, murder, lynch, all of the things to Black people. That's why it came about. You should have known that.
Molly.
Scholarly Molly.
He also was like, I want to follow in your footsteps, Mom. I should have all along. Alexis used to be the DA. What are you talking about?
Your crazy ass daddy.
Yeah. Like
that's what we want to see.
You come from a long line of top cops, actually. So, you know, just here to bring your weekly dose of the only, I can feel like confidently say the only abolitionist being offered about daytime soap operas. I feel confident about that, actually.
I'm certain that's our claim to fame. Not working for me. I mean, what happened with them this week worked for me, but Sona obviously not working for me. And I feel like I have to be number one hater, anti-shipper Because I don't see enough anti-shipping, and I just have to be the voice for the people.
Anti-shippers.
I have to be the voice for it. Like, this is my social justice warrior coming out. I have to be the voice for the people because it's like I just feel so offended by them because their build and who they and what they are like represent everything that's wrong with the soap now. You know, like there's a direct line to how stupid Nixon Falls was to how stupid Trina's case was.
Mm-hmm.
That like they didn't feel like they needed to do the due diligence of like telling a real story that made any kind of sense in the technological world. These are like parallels. They don't feel like they have to build up characters and develop them. They don't feel like they have to tell good stories. All of these things are very paralleled from Nixon Falls and from that storytelling. And so that is why Sona like upsets me so much. In addition to the fact that like, I mean, why not? Look at them. You can't even get a table at your own restaurant. It's a real story, because like even now the story is going to continue to be like the family doesn't like them. Like, let's move on. If y'all can't have a real story without Carly being involved, then like what is it?
Right.
Because I can tell you what, when everybody wants to talk all this shit and be like Crew looks like a toothpaste ad, well, when they're doing their pearly white smiling at each other, they ain't thinking about Sunny.
He sure ain't.
What a weird insult. Wow, these two have beautiful smiles. They could be a toothpaste ad. Ouch. How dare you?
I know. I have for a long time. I mean, and it's also like I'm also really clear that the way I ship, especially in soaps, is so different than the way I used to ship. You know, like I'm really clear that like people aren't going to be together forever in like these current soap days. Like even when I think about like a Sprina, I'm just like, how are they going to get written off together? Or, you know, like whatever. It's not the same as like how I used to ship. And so like with Crew, it's just kind of fun. It's like, oh yeah, these are two people who I've actually like two actors who I've wanted to like see together for a really long time, and now it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that wasn't about, I just think that like the comparison is like really funny because like one is clearly better and it's not Sona.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Crew, but they're clearly better than Sona.
Right.
Like, I'm like, I don't like any of this. And one is certainly a lot easier to watch than the other. And this is coming as someone who is a like Cameron Matheson Drew hater. Because of my Billy Miller loyalty.
Oh.
Yeah.
And also because
it's about him, it's just about Billy Miller.
Well, it's about both.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's more about my love for Billy. I don't hate Cameron Matheson. It's not like a Marcus situation.
No.
Right.
I think Cameron Matheson seems like a really nice guy. He's Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems very Canadian. If he's not Canadian, he seems very Canadian to me. That's like the nicest thing I could say about a white person.
He's Canadian. That's not.
No, but he's, you know, he does. He's not Drew to me. But I think that him and Laura together are like, they're perfectly fine to watch. And I think they have chemistry. It's just not my thing. Right. But they're certainly better than Sona. Oh my God.
He is Canadian. It's also like really funny. I like, and not that people need to like I don't care about people making fun of them. Like they're, you know, whatever. But it's also like people are just like, he's so hyper. He's so this. I'm like, yeah, dude has like a Cameron Matheson like is a cancer survivor who like loves that he's alive right now. So he is all over the fucking place. And I'm just like, you know what? He's happy to have a job. And Cameron, I'm happy for you. I like people being employed too. And I like you being opposite of Laura Wright. So
I just wish they had brought him as someone else.
I do too. It is, I mean, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. It was bad. but I'm certainly not offended by him. I think it's just funny. Like he is. It's funny that he's Drew. But anyway, I was talking about Sona not working for me. My point is that sorry, I got sidetracked. My point is that they represent pretty much everything that's like wrong, and it also for me like it's a little bit. And I know we're gonna talk about some behind the scenes stuff, but it also just like feels a little icky when I'm happy that Laura has a scene partner that wants to work with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, like when your former co-star who you've been with for a long time is like, I fucking hated the work I was doing before, and now I love the work. That means they fucking hated the work they did with you.
Right. That's so disrespectful.
So I mean, you know, and Steve Burton was like fucking checked out during Charlie. I hated Charlie. I was never gonna like Charlie. Hated it. But he was checked out. So, you know, she has somebody who's checked into her, and I'm happy for her.
Yeah. I'm always gonna prefer to see that over men. I would rather see an over enthusiastic man than one that's like checked out and like going through the motions.
Yeah.
Like I could just walk out and interact with any man at any given time if I wanted to see that. This is and it's supposed to be entertainment. So
yeah.
At least he's trying to entertain us. Look at me out here defending Cameron Mathison. Let's keep it moving.
You tell us like what is not working for you.
Me defending Cameron Mathison is not working for me.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
Please don't set me up like this again. My child going to prison again is not working for me.
Speak on it.
I want Spencer to suffer just as much as the next person. Like Jocelyn and I, we're not completely on the same page because Rorina.
Mm-hmm.
More like Borina. I don't know why I found that to be so funny in that moment. Wow, I really need to get more sleep. But like, yes, Borina,
Tritch.
Tritch. Yeah, I just can't do Spencer in prison again. I can't do him in Pentonville in real prison. I mean, I was already upset enough about Springridge.
Same.
And with Pentonville, it's not like he's gonna be able to hold court like he did at Springridge. Like he had like a never-ending like cycle of visitors, and he just like took over the whole goddamn waiting room. Like the whole rec room was like his kingdom. He was running around, yelling, like having breakups, like multiple breakups, because he had the Trina breakup and the Esme breakup.
Right.
Like he was entertaining his fellow inmates. You know what I'm saying? Like he was giving. He was being very generous with his drama. He's not gonna be able to do that in Pentonville.
No.
Nope. You know, I don't know. But then again, like Alexis and Sean were just like chilling in the library all the time.
Non-carceral suffering only.
Yeah, I'm not interested. We've already done this. So I'm like, I beseech you. It's not too late to like find it out. I don't know if you've already filmed Pentonville stuff. It's okay. Because you threw out that Sprina scene. Tabiana told us in the Zoom there was a Sprina scene that got cut. So you can cut the Pentonville scenes. It's okay. You just have to eat that money. Because we don't want it. We don't want to see it. In the words of Tanya, we don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it.
You don't want carceral Spencer. And if this is gonna happen, like we don't need Sprina going into another incarceration moment without a kiss. Now, come on now. This will be the second time.
And a real kiss. Not like a kiss on the chin that Rory's doing. where he's just airbrushing the lips and then going for the chin. No.
Yeah, bro, you can't do a stage kiss on camera.
And Spencer needs to lift her up and her feet be and then it's just like, and then she's like grabbing and running her fingers through his hair.
You're gonna direct this kiss.
I was about to say, like, if y'all need a guest director, we have a candidate for you.
Like, he's going to be awakened by this kiss.
Yes.
Nicholas Chavez has been waiting, so
yes. He's ready.
Make sure that Spencer awakens her.
They both are going to be awakened. He's going to be with a real young lady.
Yeah.
Oh. And I don't need 3 months. 3 months in GH time? How long is that? Is he going to be there the rest of the year? Like, this is not, no. There's too much other story to tell, and we've already told this story. So just like find a way for him to get out of it. I don't care how it is. It doesn't have to make any sense either. I'm okay with it not making sense.
So much shit doesn't make sense. Who cares?
I'm giving you so many outs here. Text me. I have ideas. But I will say, if he is going to be in prison, like if they do a thing where he's like in prison for like a minute and then he gets out early, I'm going to need Spencer to talk to his Uncle Cyrus. Yes. I'm going to need Spencer and Cyrus scenes. If you send my child to Pentonville and he does not talk to his great uncle, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
He has so many great uncles that are just...
He's already been talking to the other great uncles. He needs to talk to this one. The trifecta of great uncles: Victor, Cyrus, and Martin. He does deserve such great things. Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to talk about something else that wasn't working for me that I forgot to put in my notes.
Oh, please.
This love triangle. It's not giving.
The Borina love triangle?
The Borina.
Oh my god.
I feel like especially entitled to call it Borina because I did kind of help name it
Rorina for sure. The Tritch, but no. I was like really excited for a love triangle. I was specifically excited for Trina to be central to a love triangle. And I think that in order for it to, and there were always going to be fans who like didn't want it. There were always going to be people who are just like ready for Sprina, and that's totally fair because we've been waiting for a super long time. But I thought that it would give like Tabiana's Trina like the time to build a runway with Spencer. And it just is not giving and did not give what I needed it to give. So like what I wanted a love triangle, I wanted a lot of jealous Spencer. I wanted them to constantly be interacting. Like we were promised gallery scenes. Like that's what we were all excited for when he got like that time. Like he was supposed to do all these gallery scenes with Trina, gallery time with Trina. She was going to be his boss, like all of these things. So what I was looking forward to was like her giving him eyes, but like leaving because Rory picked her up. I was like looking forward to like maybe some stakes. Like it's really clear that like the story is like Sprina and like this is like an obstacle. But I was looking to like feel torn and be like, oh, this is, and they haven't built out Rory. And so, and again, this has nothing to do with the actor. This has everything to do with the character. If you were going to like have someone be like a rival for Spencer Cassadine, like legacy of legacy, then it should be somebody who has like something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It should be somebody with a backstory or with. So we get this like sob story from Dex. That's basically like him and Sunny bonding over Deke, because let's call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But like, we don't get this We don't get anything. We don't even get this cop bonding with other cops who we might like. We just get him being like a dum-dum.
Just really dumb.
Just really fucking stupid. Like, we don't see him with Dante, and I know Dante's doing the heavy lifting of the horse friend, but we don't see him with Dante. We don't see him like hanging out with Chase. Like, you know, like we don't see any of that. So what was the purpose? Like, I don't want like a triangle just for the sake of like keeping Sprina apart and also being boring. I want it to be like entertaining. I wanted to be entertained. I wanted Joe Spencer. I wanted, the point of the triangle was to like drive Sprina closer together, to like make Trina realize her feelings for Spencer, and to make Spencer like either hold back his feelings because he thought she was happy, or to like, you know, like be so jealous or whatever, or like have to watch their relationship in the same ways that Trina had to watch his relationship with Esme. Not for whatever this is. And that's from a really, really, really bad writing perspective. And I know that we're going to talk a little bit about the character of Rory later, but I just had to say that the triangle is not giving at all.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate because I know Tabiana was looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
She said so in Soap Opera Digest when they talked to her, and you know, like this is like her current pairing, and it's just like, you know, kind of a dud.
Yeah.
For a bunch of reasons that are not her fault at all.
No, she's
amazing.
Yeah, she's delivering. It's kind of fallen flat on a few other avenues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, you don't have to like softball this triangle to make Spencer look good.
No.
Because A, he's one of the most compelling characters on the canvas, gets like the best writing, like all this other stuff, and Nicolas Chavez is so good that like you don't actually, like, you can put the best, you could put someone really compelling opposite of him and we would still root for Spencer. Absolutely. So it just feels like the contrast makes it even worse because Nicolas Chavez is so good and Spencer is so compelling and such a great character that, like, yikes. Oh, Borina.
Yikes is it.
Oh, Borina.
Borina. My God.
Well,
and I have so much muted. I bet you that's something that they call it online.
I would have no way of knowing.
But I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so like, oh my God, let me look right now. I bet you worried. I'm gonna look. I bet you that this is like something that's already been said. It just feels like it is. Like, I think they call him Bori. So
it's really sad.
Oh, I had another thing that wasn't working for me while we're still on the subject. The looming ghost of Lulu over Sante is not working for me. I don't know if you know this about me, but I don't fuck with Lulu. Luca Laura's daughter. I like was all right with Julie's Lulu. Like, she was never my favorite character, and like in the Lulu and Maxie dynamic when they were at odds, I was always team Maxie, even when she was on bullshit, even when she was pretending to carry the Lante baby and it was actually Georgie. I still was like, well, you know.
I mean, even
I was like, Maxie's on bullshit, but
I've always liked Maxie more than Lulu.
Even when Maxie had the affair with Lucky, it was still team Maxie over Elizabeth.
Clearly. So yeah, the ghost of Lulu as Sante's, like, is this their storyline? Like, we've been asking for a Sante storyline. I don't mind there being drama in their relationship, but like, this is not it. This also feels like, why wasn't this a conversation they had sooner? Why is this happening now? Please don't bring Lulu back. But also, like, Sante has been rolling around in other people's storylines for months when they could have been the adventure couple. Like, I loved their scenes in Monaco and in Greece. Those are really great. Those Monaco scenes, well, first of all, the dress that Sam was wearing, I still think about it to this day. But like, those scenes between them were hot. They were so good. And now, like, what happened to that trajectory for them? And I had really hoped, I mean, I think part of the problem was that they had Dante be a cop again. And I had really,
always the problem.
It's always the problem. I mean, it's a problem, A, because I don't want Dante to be a cop for obvious reasons, but it also is just like a dead end for his character. And like, that's kind of the true with all the cops. Like, because they're always like, the interesting stuff happens like when their characters are doing like shady illegal shit or like involved in like shenanigans, and there's a limitation to how much you can do that and be on the PCVT. There's a limitation to like how much you can do like travel and do like capers. Like and they're not even, I mean, they've done like a little bit of that, like, oh, like the difference between Dante and Sam's other boos and husbands, etc. But like, we still could have done that and had Dante not be a cop. It's not good for his character development. And I really, really liked him not being a cop. Not just because I hate cops, but also because it's just like a bad storyline prop. So Buddha Dante being a cop again, it's written him into a corner, and that y'all think that bringing in Lulu is what's going to make this compelling. Just let Sante be together and go on adventures.
Yes. And like, let us see them on screen, please.
Yes. And let them like also like follow through on story, like I thought that Sam was going to be a bigger part of like the Trina story, of Liz's story. Like I thought, okay, well, at least we're incorporating them into these storylines. So we'll see them like move through an arc, and they just get sprinkled in to babysit, but they never get to see anything all the way through.
So here's what I learned about Borina. I'm so sorry. I was listening also while you were talking though, because I'm listening about Sante. Borina, people, I've talked about that for Trina and Rory, but it's also a Station 19 ship with Boris and Andy. I think it must be their real names, Boris and what is that actress's name that plays Andy? Anyway, people call them Borina, like their.
Huh, that's weird.
Anyway, but yeah, that's what it's more of that than Trina and because her name is Jaina.
Okay, well,
anyway.
Let's keep it moving. This is not a Station 19 podcast.
Yeah, well, we are going to talk about Station 19.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right.
Did you not get my email?
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. But I'm not looking at it right now.
All right. Y'all ready to talk about behind the scenes stuff?
Sure.
Kelly Thibault going back to Station 19.
Oh, right.
That's what we're talking
about. I was like, why are we talking about Station 19? It's not on right now. Yeah, please back. This is what happens when we're the late shift. Anyway, news broke. Kelly Thibault, aka Britt, who had already been like a guest star on Station 19, is going back to reprise her role. There was like a lot of back and forth about whether or not that meant she was going to be on GH. It looks like she won't be. That's what like Deadline and Variety, Central, like everybody is reporting, and she has not refuted that.
what ended up happening that seemed like people were like, oh, we don't know, is that someone asked if she could do both, and she said yes. Now, she did not say she was doing both. She probably was like, you see the stable baby bullshit, I'm out of here. So yeah, Britt gone in the fall.
Good for her.
Yeah, because Corey's not working. And I like her.
Who's Corey?
I don't know. I just opposed Borina with Cody and Britt. Cody is not working, and because of that, Britt's not working for me. Like, I love seeing Britt in the storyline with Tree and
Oh God. Yep, with Tree and Terry. Go ahead.
Terry.
Yep. Yep.
I love it. I love seeing her doctor and be snazzy and snarky and just being a good doctor. I don't like her with Cody. She deserves better. And if she's going to get that on Station 19, then go for it. Okay, I'm done.
Station 19 is definitely a far superior show.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for her. I hope they don't recast Britt. That's the first thing. I'm sad because that means we probably will have less Brad, which fucking sucks. And we really don't see Brad anyway. And I really hope that means that they get rid of Cody, but I don't think that's true. I don't want them trying to give him to any of my faves. If they try to put Cody and Maxie together, I'm gonna fucking show up to Prospect Park and I'm gonna act a fool. She's been through enough.
She has. Spixie. Give me Spixie.
Give me Spixie, and that's it. I've had enough.
I had to put my glasses on. My eyes hurt.
Any other thoughts about Britt and like this being gone, or like do you think of other storylines you think it might impact?
Not any ones that I care about.
Well, I hope this doesn't mean that Liesel has to go too.
Oh no. I mean, I feel like they're just like, they've had Liesel around without Britt. Because Kelly was gone for a while and Liesel was still around. Yeah, they'll keep Kathleen around.
Yeah. Okay.
Scotty, or various reasons they like her too much. Yeah, I hope that it's just her leaving and not her dying. I'm like not ready for Britt to die, but if this means like we get to end this storyline,
Oh my God.
you know. I mean, I just said I don't want it to die, but also I would like the storyline to be over.
She could still die, and Faison could come back alive and sell her body to Helena, and Helena can resurrect her. I mean, there's all things that could happen. So
A lot of days crossing over right there, but sure. Why not?
It's within reason. Helena is not dead.
Sure,
She's not. We all know it. So
yeah. I mean, I'm just ready for this. Because Cody, like, Josh Kelly isn't on contract, is he?
Yeah, he is.
he has a bio.
Oh, he has a bio? Oh,
Yeah, he's
I
on
love
contract. He's a contract player, friend. Sadly. So the other thing that broke, so like there's a guy, Brett, who posts on Twitter a bunch, like when there's new headshots or photo shoots, things like that. And so like he usually breaks when people are on contract. So if you want to follow him, just so I want to give credit, his ad is Vix, like the vapor, Vix Vapor 77. And so anyway, he posted that all of the cast of current GH bios. And so he tweeted, GH fans, if you're curious when the cast is on contract, the ABC cast bios were just updated, not sure why, but Michael Krause, Rory is missing, but other than him, here are the currents. And so nobody knew, like people don't know if like Rory's still on contract, if this was like an oversight. I don't know. He's still not there. I think that's a pretty big microaggression if he is on contract and they just didn't, he's the only like fucking Asian person on contract and they didn't have him up there. But I also just don't know if they've decided like that the story is not working, if maybe that's the reason they're not giving him any background story, if that's just like reading too much into it, they just didn't update it. I'm not sure. But wanted to bring you that news as we knew it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he was just not around for the photo shoot.
That's also a thing that could happen.
Because then they wouldn't have any promotional photos to use.
Well, no, because a couple of days earlier, the same Brett guy had posted Michael's shot.
Right. And he was in the opening credits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think it seems unlikely that they would pull him if they signed him on a 3-year, but if they just signed him on like a 6-month or a year, because that is a thing too.
Yeah.
So he started the same time as Tabiana.
Yep.
So, there is nothing but Trina tying him to the canvas.
Yep.
Who knows?
I was actually talking to someone about him as an actor as well. And they were just like saying, the person I was like talking to on Twitter was like, oh yeah, Josh Kelly's a good actor. I was like, let's calm down. But I do think back to what you talked about with Dex from last week. And so like we did the Tross with Zoom with Eden and Tabiana. And one of the things that really stuck with me was that Tabiana said that on her first day, Laura Wright came to her and was like, if you need anything, I'm happy to run lines with you, blah, blah, blah. And they're not traditional scene partners. Mm-hmm. And so it really made me think about the like very strong set of women who are like contract players at GH. In the mentorship, it's very clear that they give. Like it is really clear that both Maura West and Laura Wright have like brought in Eden and Tabiana as like actresses and supported them like on screen. And like, I mean, I don't know what happens with Tabiana, but Eden is certainly supported like by them off screen. And I don't see that same level of mentorship happening on the male side. I even said like when Roger left being Franco, William, who was playing Cam, was like on his own because it was clear that Roger was like a mentor to William. And then after that, his William scenes were with Steve Burton, and Steve Burton clearly did not play that role. Mm-hmm. And you could see the difference in the performances. I mean, great, William is great, and like he has like refound his footing, but that is a major blow to lose a scene partner like Roger.
Right.
When you have to then play extremely emotional beats afterwards, and that person who's grounded you in so many ways is not there. And so we just don't see that. I think about like, I wouldn't know who took MBK under their wing if they did, or if he wanted to be like, come here. I see, the actor to play Dex is like in people's TikToks and like doing Mo's State of Mind, but I don't know if anybody's taken him in as an actor and said like, let's run lines. Because I think, I mean, just like very transparently, people were talking about like MBK like not being a good actor, and I actually don't think that is. I don't think that that's 100% true. I think the soaps are really fast paced, and I don't think he's good, but I think the soaps are fast paced and like a very like specific skill. And like if he had a coach who was like,
I also don't think he has a good story.
They're not an awful story.
They're not giving him anything good.
He has an awful story. And I mean, I think that like it's just very difficult. For me, it speaks to like where they ground people. Like I saw somebody like calling for Tanisha to be fired because she wasn't a good Jordan. Now, it'll be a cold day of hell before I call for a Black woman to like not have a job. So I would never. But it like where's the investment in her? Why is she like, she is friends with Anna. Why have we not seen her in scenes with Finola?
Yeah.
That can help ground her. as both an actress and a character. So it just, for me, speaks to like the levels of commitment that are being made to like characters of color that are like not being, or like the lack of commitment where it doesn't exist for like white characters, to be honest. Like there's just no commitment being made to them. So, and I also, I will be interested because I don't know how to tell if somebody's on a 1 year, a 3 year, or whatever contract, because contracts are really about like not being able to go anywhere, you know what I mean? Like, so the studio has like you and your time for a certain amount of time. So I would love to know who's on like a 3 year versus a 6 month. And would love if Stable Baby was like only on a 6 month and we could say bye.
That would be the dream.
Cool. The other thing, there was like some weird some Twitter stuff that happened over the last couple of days with like some of the vets. Like Ken Shriner had tweeted something, Ken plays Scott, that made it look like maybe he wasn't treated well or he was ready to give like a tell-all. I don't know what was going on there. And then Jackie Zeman, who plays Bobby, had tweeted like a picture out that normally I think wouldn't have gotten like any traction in that way. It was like set in the past tense, which could just be like these are people I used to work with, but like in relation to Ken's tweet, like felt weird, I think, for people. And then Maurice Bernard, obviously Sunny, tweeted like a video talking about how GH is like a great place to work and like people shouldn't complain. So like I don't know what's happening, but I would say we probably should expect some shakeups. I don't know.
Sounded like when I looked at the tweet thread, because he said after 45 years, so it sounded like Ken Shriner had like an anniversary and he basically got nothing. Which, yeah, if I was him, I'd be upset too. I mean, 45 years and not get like so much as a cake. I don't know if he got a cake or not, but it sounded like he didn't get a cake.
It sounded like he didn't know. I love that interpretation. It sounded like Ken did not get a cake.
I will say shout out to Liz fans,
right?
Because for Becky's anniversary, they did send something to him.
Right.
Very sweet.
Oh, they sent him?
Yeah, Liz fans did.
I do like Ken and Becky together. That was one of the things I liked about this week was their scenes.
Yeah.
As someone who's not a particularly big fan of either character, I actually do really like those two actors together, and you can tell that they really gel.
Yeah, I mean, I liked his character's relationship to Franco and how he really wanted to be a dad, wanted to be a good dad to him, and
he was a good granddad.
Yeah, and a good granddad to Cam and the rest of them. The boys.
When I read Ken's tweet, to be honest, I read it like 10 different times and I didn't understand it. So I just kind of like I got what people were reading into it, but I was like, you could read this like 12 different ways and it still wouldn't make any sense to me, which is par for the course for how Ken tweets. So it's not a stretch to think that he would be disrespected because the culture on this show is obviously very disrespectful behind the scenes. Yes. And I was kind of like, well, also he tweets like a boomer. So, you know, and he's just kind of like, not just a boomer. He tweets like Ken Shriner. You know what I'm saying? Like he's wacky. So I don't know if he understands like the gravity of like what he was saying, or like he didn't go back and clarify. But I also don't know if he knows how to read the replies. So that's my perspective.
Jackie, your perspective. I loved it.
With Jackie's tweet, I really read it as like, I didn't read it as shady or like that she was gone.
Yeah, it was more
as like Alan and Monica, or like Alan's not on the show anymore. Yeah, Alan's the actor that played Alan passed, and he's not on the show, and Leslie's not on the show right now either. So what?
I was like, I agree. I kind of felt like she was just saying it was a good period of time.
Yeah, because she said we had a great run.
Yeah.
And like they wouldn't be able to say we're having a great run because literally that's not true.
Right.
So, I mean, it also wouldn't be a shakeup to not see Scott and Bobby that much because we see Scott like a decent amount, but we don't see Bobby very often.
Oh.
So I kind of also just took it as like it was a slow day on soap Twitter. So there was a lot of speculation. But who knows? It's also like not out of left field either because the show is disrespectful to Yvette. So yes, and although Frank does like Yvette more than like, you know, some of the past showrunners. So who knows? What was the other thing?
Maurice Bernard being like, don't complain. We're like a family and blah, blah,
Union Buster energy. I was like, what the hell is this?
He's so goofy.
I'm like, yeah, it's a great show for you. You don't know other people's lives, Maurice.
Bitch complains all the time about the show. I just can't with him.
Who complains all the time?
Oh.
He was not complaining about the show. He was complaining about some other people complaining about the show.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He loves the show now. He loves.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, he's complaining about other people complain. He complains about the show all the time.
Right.
He doesn't anymore. He loves what he's doing. It's the best work of his whole career.
He has a good day and it makes him feel good.
He's like, they don't make me memorize my lines anymore. So I'm having a great time.
Oh Lord.
And they promote my podcast for me.
Never ending stream of podcast, yes.
He like him and Marcus keep doing these TikToks, and I'm like, if you don't go run some lines with this man, like please.
Right. That is disrespectful, Sonny, of you to not mentor Marcellus because he needs help.
He's mentoring him in all the wrong ways.
I think they had a improv show or something today together.
Improv.
So I say to Sandra, "Oh, Sandra, I'm really surprised to see you. I thought you would be in Irvine, California." And Sandra was like, "What the?" I was like, "To go to Mo and Marcus's show." And it was exactly that face. So the fact that you forgot is killing me.
Why would I need to remember something like that? I wish I didn't know.
Well,
maybe that's why I feel so tired today. It's draining
me. It was like the energy out of you.
I'm drained now.
Well, let's move to free for all hot takes. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I have one.
I have none.
Okay.
Should I go?
I'll just do my one.
Okay.
Lucy, girl, you fucking were killing it in that red dress. You better come through, Vampire Slayer.
Mm-hmm. And like, I was like, when she walked away to the elevator, I was like, I know she's doing that on purpose.
Victor.
That was a walk.
But I love to watch you leave.
Right. I was like, you go. And you know what? I went to a dinner on Friday. I had that same energy. I was not wearing a red dress. I was wearing a black dress, but I walked like I was wearing a tight ass red dress that looked great. And people were like, people were feeling it. Mm. So sometimes you ain't got to be wearing the best thing. You just walk like you're wearing the best thing.
But I'm also sure you look fabulous.
No, I was just giving off some Lucy energy, and I'm,
I love it.
May we all give off Lucy energy.
Even Scott was like, I don't know if this was written or if this was a kin ad lib, but he was like, okay, Miss Red Dress. And I was like,
that was definitely a kid ad lib.
Red dress.
Like, I'm pretty sure Ken just ad libs. So, speaking of ad libbers, are Diana and Robert gonna be a thing?
That I was like
a vibe. And
is she still with Max?
I don't remember.
Didn't they break
Max
up?
isn't around anymore because he's unvaccinated.
I know.
I thought they broke up.
That was Epiphany and Milo.
But Max and
No, I thought they broke up
too, but they might have gotten back together. I can't remember. I think they're broken up.
Yeah.
But it felt like I was like, why is this here? I mean, I know they wanted to like pat Rowan on the back for doing the less than the bare minimum. But it felt a little like ... and I was like, I'm not interested.
Very much not interested.
I'm not really interested in seeing Robert in a relationship. Not. And I'm used to seeing Diane, you know, with like a young hot stud. And you know,
Diane, you know that new security that that Sunny has? The one that was doing the investigation on Dex.
Frank.
Yeah.
Is that the one he was trying to force feed his meatballs?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Diane has a type. Although I don't know what the relationship was like between Diane and Sunny anymore. So
yeah, I think she's giving Sunny the side eye more than anything.
I love it.
Right.
Maura West is everything. Ava is everything. I loved the little Treva interaction. Where like, you know, Ava was basically like, I'm shady as fuck. I would never let you go to prison. And I'm very.
Trina was like,
Trina's look was giving me, Ava, you've been Jeroming, haven't you? Like it was like, it wasn't like, what did you do? It's that like you did something.
Ava was like, I would never let you go to prison.
I'm very resourceful. And I also loved Ava's knowing look about Sprina.
Such a shipper.
Still a shipper, as is Cam.
Cam is like the first mate on the SS Sprina.
Like he is fighting Ava out for first mate status. I loved it. Oh. I loved it. I love that Cam is a Sprina shipper. As much as I love Joss being like, you love her? Like I love because like both those reactions are needed. But yeah, like you said before, like the him putting his arm around Spencer and them walking out arm in arm was so sweet. So yay, I love it. I also have a thought on Joss and her Rorina shipping. Like, I just really feel like she's a Rorina shipper because she knows that Rory is no real competition for her in Trina. Like Spencer, I don't know. That's a little threatening. Like,
totally, because it will be consumed by.
Like I've been watching Days and I've been seeing Chalynn,
and that is what we want for Trust. Because that's actually the love triangle that I want. I want my Trust Sprina love triangle. That's what I want. I want it to just cycle between those two, and I would be very happy either way.
But even outside of a relationship, I think just the competition once, you know, Trina gets in a relationship and she's not going to have as much time for Joss.
Well, who knows what Joss is gonna be doing?
Hopefully it's not what I think she's doing.
It's gonna be what you think she's doing. And I appreciated that Eden was like on the Zoom. She was like, yeah, you know, I'm looking for something different. And God bless William, bless his heart, so is he. Like,
Was
the like, worried about William over there.
So they're definitely not chaos.
No.
No, they are not chaos shippers.
Chaos is not chaos shipping.
No.
Wow. Okay.
I can confirm.
Like, yes, Eden was like, and did not even act like,
no.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that. It was just like, she was like, let's keep it moving, basically. Next.
Just like the confirmation that Esme was alive. Just like, let's keep it moving. Because somebody had asked a question like, did she feel bad that like her character didn't get to like push Esme off the parapet? And she's like, oh, I'll have a chance. You know. Right. Yeah, it was no like, oh my God, I said something wrong. It was like, oh, I'll have a chance.
No. They're still putting Avery in the credits.
Like, yeah, I mean, she still has a bio and everything. So she's gone.
She's around. Just hopefully having a nice long vacation.
Yeah.
God knows Avery, because she was on like every day for like 3 months.
She deserves a vacation and all the kudos, because yeah.
I really loved like the Viva dynamic, the Ava and Victor dynamic in those scenes with Marcellus. I mean, obviously I didn't care about him, but like I loved the back and forth. I loved them kind of like standing off to the side while Marcus stupidly burned evidence and stuff that could have brought them closer to figuring out that Esme is Ryan's spawn. But I liked that energy between, I just wish that they had let that Ava's revenge be seducing Victor, like, but it seems like they're not going to go in that direction. They keep teasing us with it and then they don't do it.
Right.
I didn't like that they made Charles Shaughnessy hide that suitcase that way.
Oh my God.
It was very undignified.
The lack of dignity.
It was extremely undignified. And I think the last thing that I have is just, this is the most interested I've been in Liz's storyline. With this particular storyline. Like I liked the just getting a little bit more insight into like what possibly happened. So that's it.
I'm trying to see if I had any other hot takes. I was looking at my notes. I don't. I thought I had some. No. All my hot takes were in the summary, the recap. That was all I had. Okay. No, I do have one. So I know everybody hated the Eddie Main fashion show at lunch.
I did not
hate it. I didn't. I think that part of the problem with GH is that there's so many things that are not moving. And so things get really frustrating. So there's like the couples that people really want together are not together. People are in flux. There's no love in the afternoon. It feels very juvenile. And so that I think that if people were like having sex and having a relationship and this and that and this and that, and then that happened, it would have gotten a little bit less backlash. But this is a couple that's already been like feeling kind of juvenile. That it did, but I liked it. I think if you looked at the Soap Opera Digest article about Chalynn, and I know you're gonna preview it in the previews, like they're gonna finally get together. Josh Wicker was like, listen, I know. Like, we're ready. It's time. You know, I just think that there are too many things in flux that they keep building for no reason, or like pushing off for no reason, and they don't do the fan service of like, delivering like good story for people, and that's why it feels bad. But I was fine with it. I thought it was a cute light moment. I was like, I am a fan of the Eddie Main stuff. I wish they would actually just rebuild the record company and not have to deal with like this Me Too storyline. But here we are.
Yeah, I liked it actually. I wasn't just okay with it. I was entertained by it. I thought it was funny and cute. I laughed the whole time. I was like, finally, like we like need some levity. I don't actually. I mean, I think Twitter didn't like it, but like Instagram was polarizing. Either people really liked it or really didn't.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, I also think that like with Twitter, it's like when something doesn't, if it's such like an echo chamber that like if there is dislike, it'll just build. And it's not to say that there aren't real reasons to like dislike it or what have you.
Right.
But like it's not like, I didn't think it was that.
I was not offended.
No, I think that there was this like kind of narrative around like this isn't soapy or like what are we doing here? And I'm like, soaps have always had little like weird goofy ass montages like this. And like I actually think it was one of the more like grounding things they've done for the couple in a while. Like they showed them having fun together.
Yeah.
And that's actually something we need more of on the show. Now the rest of their storyline is crap. I mean, I also like the Eddie Main stuff, but because I also liked Ned and Lois. And if we could also ground Brooklyn in being Ned and Lois's daughter, that's actually a really important thing for her character that she's been missing. Like she's always been kind of like great value Lois, you know what I'm saying? And like this is actually more like following, she's never gonna be Lois, right? Like we're never gonna be able to recapture Lois because Renee Sofer, because of the time that Lois was in her heyday and all of that, and because of where, you know, all these things. But I thought it worked. And Renee Sofer
is available.
Beautiful.
Yes.
If Frank isn't in Frank, if Frank is not in Renee Sofer's text message inbox, I swear to God.
Justin. Oh, not Justin. Wally. Sorry, I got Justin, Wally, Ned. Wally. Give Frank your baby mama's number if he doesn't already have it. Okay. I know y'all are in good relationship. So
she looks amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Stunning.
I'm like, my God. Look at you being unproblematic and minding your business and drinking your water, because the only way you can look like that is that.
Because also, like, if we got Lois back, would that mean Brenda coming back? Can you imagine if Brenda and Lois came back?
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you brought it up. So,
oh no.
Soap Opera Digest. I think I sent you, I don't know if you saw it, Tanya. So they did like these pollings about like the best of, and like Sprina got like the second best like love story for like a young couple. Oh, this is really cute. They were right behind Liz and Lucky. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
No, they were behind Stone and Robin. They won over Liz and Lucky.
That's right. That's right.
For the record.
Thank you. And I was like, this is really cute because they're not even like a couple yet. Yay. And then they had something about like, who is the love of Sunny's life? And it was like, Brenda, cool, obviously. And like, I don't think Sunny's the prize, so whatever. So Brenda, cool. But Nina over Carly?
Yeah, that was some...
Come on. No one believes this. And it made me like not even excited for other results, because I'm like, whatever y'all did was some bullshit right here. This was like clearly robo voting or whatever. So like it just like made me like not as excited for the rest of the polls because it's not that I don't believe that people like Sunny and Nina. I mean, I don't, but it's not just that, but it's like that just clearly was so ridiculous. It like caused them to question the rest of the poll. And not in a salty way, because like I said, I don't think Sunny is a prize. I saw people who hated Carly like retweeting it like haha. I was like, what is the haha? Like that somebody rigged a poll? Yikes. That sounds very pathetic. Why don't you go rig them Instagram comments every time they post that couple? Because let me tell you what happens when they post.
Where does this polling happen?
Where does this I'm a Soap Opera Digest subscriber and I've never seen the polling. And there was like a poll around between Rory and Spencer about Trina that came, and I remember Sprina fans have found it like a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And either Rory was like very close or like up, and so they called it like, oh, you know, Rorina fans or Rory fans or like rope, like whatever it was. So people called it out then that it was like very weird voting, but I don't know who votes in those things. And Carson fans very clearly like read Soap Opera Digest, so it didn't even make sense for it to be, because like every time, like every other poll that they've done, like Sunny and Nina have been very unpopular, just like Drew and Carly are unpopular because people like Carson. So no, yikes. Anyway, I would love for Brenda to come back, wreck some lives as Brenda does. Bounce on
Love
them.
the chaos. I just love the chaos. I have no agenda. I just want the chaos.
Absolutely. Well, will you preview the week ahead for us?
I will. So I tried to think of like you know how I usually like to put the spoilers into categories and take us through arcs, but I didn't do that this week because it was like all over the place.
Okay.
I think it's because a lot of the story takes place at the Quartermain picnic. So I'm actually just gonna read through the spoilers.
Let's do it.
All right. So on Monday, the Quartermains host a GH charity picnic. Olivia and Brooklyn plot to help Sam and Dante commit to each other. Okay. Willow consults with Britt. Dex is worried. Sunny is suspicious of him. Nicholas comes up with a plan to keep the Esme situation under wraps. Curtis surprises Portia. Marshall and Jordan clear the air. I wasn't aware that there was any air to clear, but welcome back, Marshall. Missed you at the trial. Wish you had been there.
What is it, baby?
What's cracking? And then Ava, in the preview, Ava summoned Spencer to Kelly's. And I know she is asking him what his angle was to confessing to save Trina. And she seems to, in the preview that they aired at the end of Friday, kind of is like lording over this information that she has about Nicholas and Esme, making us hope that she's going to tell him, but I doubt that she is. On Tuesday, Willow decides to open up to Michael. Please, for the love of God, just tell him already. Leo prepares a special love drink for Sam and Dante at the picnic, which we know is some kind of falconry family psychic tradition, I'm assuming, which, you know what, I'm here for. I'm always here for Olivia's nonsense, always.
I knew you would be.
I don't care what anyone says. And I loved how petty she was this week. But moving on.
Loved it. Carly
and Drew grow closer. And Olivia shares her disapproval of Sunny and Nina's relationship. I don't know if you knew this, but Olivia is also an anti-soda sugar.
If there is two soda haters, it is me and Olivia.
Ava and Nicholas argue throughout the day. Love. And Portia gets a call regarding Trina. It better be Trina's reinstated with apologies.
Free tuition next semester.
Next forever.
For the rest of her career.
And they're actually going to pay her a stipend.
Mm-hmm.
And pain and suffering. I'm calling it in. On Wednesday, love is in the air at the picnic.
Ooh.
Rory and Trina bond.
Oh.
Okay.
Ace admits his feelings because he's the one who accidentally takes the love potion. We know from Soap Opera Digest.
Well, I'm not shocked. I was thinking that same thing. Like Leo's gonna make a potion and it's gonna be Chase in Brooklyn that takes it.
Chase is like, whoops. I drank it.
Yuck.
Like, I take this love potion flask out in my Eddie Mae leather pants, and I love it. Please, Goofy, keep it. Let's be real. Josh Swickert is goofy as hell. Just let him be.
That's the only reason why I actually love the fashion show, because he was so in it.
Loved
He was
it.
in it. He committed. I loved it.
That was his favorite day at work that week.
Yeah. The joy was infectious. Dante has a change of heart. I hope it's about Cody.
Right?
Or like, yes, Sam, like, let's just be together and live together and share our lives together. And what's a Lulu?
Loo.
Lulu. Carly and Drew have second thoughts about their relationship. Okay. Thursday, Carly and Drew find themselves in some danger.
Toothpaste commercial danger.
Huh?
Toothpaste commercial danger.
I've just been like, what the fuck is happening at this picnic? That crew is in such danger. Like, what's going on here? What, like, is there like a malfunctioning carnival ride? Like, what's going on? Victor threatens Ava not to mess with the Cassadines, and then they kiss. They don't kiss.
Oh, like,
just in case you weren't paying attention. Spencer is unreceptive to his father's affection. Love it. Finn decides to make a confession to Elizabeth. I violated your boundaries.
Again.
Because isn't he gonna like call up
her mom or sister or something?
Dad or something? Make an appointment with her dad. Wasn't that what he was doing?
I thought he said tell her to call me back.
Oh. Well, I think there are probably more spoilers on Thursday, but they're not listed for whatever reason. There was only 4. So sometimes when there's like something big that's gonna happen, they'll hold the spoilers back. If it's too spoilery. On Friday, Terry develops an attraction to someone new.
Please do not be Cody.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I've been thinking about it. I'm sorry.
Think about it.
How could you say such a thing? That's it. This show's over.
Ew.
Did you grand opening, grand closing?
I'm walking out. Friday's over.
Oh.
Elizabeth has another dramatic flashback. Lucy and Felicia tell Mac and Anna the truth about Cody's birth parents. Cody and Britt argue about why she will not discuss her father. Leave this poor woman alone. No wonder she's going to Station 19. Anna convinces Lucy to work Victor. Can't wait.
Love it.
Mason threatens Austin.
Who's Mason?
His cousin.
That guy that looks like he's Michael's rapist. He's not. He does. I think he looks like he was Michael's rapist.
Oh, he does. Ugh, yeah. Oof, yikes.
Talks like him too.
Yikes.
But anyway, he just reminds me of him a lot.
Yikes.
Moving on. Spencer learns the truth, and Ava is caught off guard. And that's the week.
Okay.
As always, I'm very interested in the Spencer spoilers.
Yes.
Not so interested in Borina bonding.
That's how I feel about that.
Fucking Tritch. I'm not interested. That's what I got.
I wish that the Victor and Ava spoiler that I made up was true.
I do too, because that was like epic.
It was amazing.
I was like,
Now that is too soapy for GH.
way too soapy. Well, y'all, it has been a late shift on a Sunday.
That's fun.
So glad we talked. It is always the highlight of my week. And I'm ready to actually excited for this coming up week for GH, shockingly. I want to see what this Q Carnival or whatever it is all about.
Yeah, I like an event. It's nice to have an event. It's nice to have a spoiler that says love is in the air. I can hold that it's not going to be that romantic, and
it's not probably gonna be couples I want to be in love.
It could be all right. I also just like that there are so many people involved in this little thing. So that's always nice when there's like a lot of the cast involved in a event. That's all I got.
Well, have a great week, everyone. Thanks for listening. Do you have any closing parting words?
I know we've been through a lot, but right now, I don't give a damn about that.
about what?
Anna Devane.
Oh.
That was an Anna Devane quote.
That was an Anna Devane quote. That was an Anna Devane paraphrase.
Mine will be Cody never worked, hashtag, and fucking Rory.
Borina.
Mine is defund the PCPD, starting with Rory.
Recall Robert.
Recall Robert Scorpio. Still
We're
on
not-
that.
We're not done with you, Robert.
Done with it yet.
And we don't want you to have a boo either.
And I love Sante. I love that Dante loves Samantha as he should.
I love Spencer suffering.
See, that's enough. Non-carceral suffering only.
Non-carceral suffering only. And that concludes
This
our
concludes
program for this
that
evening.
burnout, like behind you, whatever that was. This concludes the sounds of Oakland. Bye, y'all.